Hello, hello, welcome everyone. I'm Jay, and with me is my co host and partner, Dre. And today we are here with our 10th guest, and her chapter is number 10, and it's Hello, Are You There? We are incredibly honored to have a truly inspiring guest with us, and that's Dr. Urszula Carr.
Hi, how are
Welcome. How are you today, Dr. Ursula?
you? Very well, thank you. I'm a bit nervous.
No worries. We got you. And thank you so much for joining us today. So, if you could just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure. So I live in Australia. I am a medical doctor, and I am also a single mom of four kids. Um, I work full time, and I enjoy a lot of things outside my work, like sailing, running, karate, and lots of other things. Travel in particular. Um, and I also help other doctors to overcome burnout and stress, which is a very common um, thing in our profession. And what happened, how I got into that was that I've lost my husband to pancreatic cancer about 8 years ago. And I developed a very severe burnout a couple of times due to high workload and also the circumstances of being single mom, young kids, and no family support over here. So I had this journey, and I managed to overcome all the obstacles and um, reignite, like spark for life and interest for life and interest for my profession. Spark, I call it.
I love that. Oh, you are such an amazing person. If without giving away a lot of information about your chapter, because you have such a beautiful story to share, and it was so heartwarming. Thank you so much for trusting and putting it in the book, because I know a lot of people are going to learn from it and can see that they're not the only ones going through it. Can you give us a quick overview of your chapter without going into too much detail?
Sure. It's been a while though since I wrote it. It's been a challenge for me. I always wanted to put in paper and document my grief, my journey, and there was just not enough time, or I was putting this sort of aside, maybe some other day. And when the opportunity came my way last year with your group and your lovely people, I've decided to take this chance. And yeah, I never ever wrote anything other than scientific paper, research orientated since probably secondary school, when used to write essays. So I was a bit nervous and also writing in English. And I had no experience whatsoever, and I was worried how can I express myself, but decided to just go with my heart and just close my eyes and try to remember everything that I went through, and it just I started writing, and the story just started to flow. Um, a little bit overview. This is a journey from when I actually learned about the diagnosis that my husband was had, and that was very sudden and unexpected. I really clearly remember that day, exactly what I was doing, how it happened, and then the journey that followed, 16 months of very severe chemo and treatments and ups and downs with hopes, big hopes, and then hopes were taken away from us, and it was a very painful journey, for obviously for my husband, but myself as well, and our kids and all family. So I write about that, and I write about overcoming that grief and learning from it, and briefly I touch on what is happening currently in my life and my life. I basically talked to my husband, in that book. I needed to let it out, and like for me it was closure, closure of, well, he's always going to be in my heart and always remembered, but some sort of closure I needed to move on. And it's been 8 years, and yeah, that book allowed me to do that, I think.
So, as you were going through the process, what was the writing process like for you? I know you shared that it gave you some closure. As you were going through the process, how was it for you?
It was still very painful and raw, because writing about it brought memories, and I wanted to, and it was very emotional. I wanted to really be accurate and express how I felt, and so it was quite challenging to dive deep into that intensity of grief again. Um, but I think it was really what was necessary for me to just complete the healing. Yeah, and I when I started writing, some more memories came to my mind, and remembered some good days that we had, and some not so good days. Yeah, and it was like talking to him. Particularly at the end, I really literally have a conversation with my husband, because I still believe that he could hear me somehow. Rightly,
Absolutely.
obviously, I don't know, I never would know, but I was just talking to him.
I love that. And
And yeah.
and how was the collaboration with your fellow authors as you were going through the process? How did that help you with the journey?
Well, there was this group that we had, and there was a lot of support going on, and cheering and supporting each other, and um, it was great, because I believe that writing might be really challenging when, if you are just a single author and you have nobody to actually help you out or support you or motivate you. I think what it helped me also was the strict deadline. We were given deadline, and that was it. And I knew, I have to just. I believe if I had, like, somebody told me, "Oh, you have like 6 months," I probably would leave everything to the last minute anyway. But it was very short period of time, and I just basically sat down at the weekend. What I did actually, I don't know whether I should disclose it, but I recorded myself. It was like my story from my heart. I talked about it. I recorded myself, and that helped me to actually write, this story.
Yes.
And as I said, having those people around me, and hearing, and we had a few meetings, and I also have some other friends who are writing, and they were able to um, check, like, uh, support me, like, just cheer me, go for it. So
Yes.
that's very.
What are some of the tips that you shared? What can you share from your chapter? What are some tips that you could share to others out there?
I believe my message I wanted to convey was, that no matter how traumatic our experiences are, we can turn them into personal learning. And I believe I become a better person somehow through this pain, and better parent. And yeah, so there's always, we can choose. We've got a choice. I believe we can choose and live that trauma for the rest of our lives, and just get stuck in there and not be present and not create your future and your presence. Or you can just see it as a learning journey, and turn it into something positive, something meaningful. So not only I'm benefiting and my children, but also other people who read it.
And it's probably February 2nd there in Australia. So what's on the horizon for you in 2024? What can people look forward to seeing from you?
Well, I am really getting on with my coaching business. So I hope that more doctors would be, I would be able to help more doctors or other medical professionals. It's not only doctors. I also work with highly stressed out and highly performing individuals. And I give my example. I'm still working full time because I have to support my children, and I like what I do. So I developed a number of very effective techniques, and I've got this toolbox that allows me to really focus on what I do at the moment, and then uh, do my duties, do my whatever I need to do for my patients, for my work, for my colleagues, and then I still have time to do the coaching. Although that's quite not it's quite minimal at this stage, but I'm going to expand and still have time to enjoy life and do things that I love doing. So I plan to do more sailing, and I'm going to Africa Safari, and I'm taking my kids to Bali, and I'm planning all these trips and seeing friends, and so there's life, there's work, there's service, but there's also life and excitement and spark.
So amazing, so awesome. So what's the best way for people to get a hold of you?
I suggest Facebook is a good place, and I have a website called Medic Revive. Um, so that's literally medicrevive.com. And I have also, so I could be contacted through there. There's contact numbers and email address and so on. But other than that, is Messenger on Facebook. Yeah.
Dr. Urszula, thank you so much for being a part of this and letting us interview you. Dre, turning it over to you.
Urszula, oh man, I just want to say, echoing what Jay said, like your story, extremely powerful. And when you were talking today, like the question that I had in my head is, how do you keep going, being, going through what you've been through? And I was just thinking about, like loving someone, like so much, and like to lose them. But with each of your 4 kids, you've got a little bit of your husband, like there, and it's just so nice that you're doing what you're doing, and like your story is gonna like inspire, impact, and influence so many people. So from the bottom of my heart, from the bottom of Jay's heart, we are just so grateful and appreciative of you and what you've shared. So thank you.
Thank you so much.